Are we good to go?
Right, no, it looks like we should be streaming
Santos.
certifications tomorrow, I think we're doing sidebar, so that we're just recording in here. And it's not-
Okay, I've got speakers on.
But the blue light isn't on, so we still have to wait.
We're waiting for somebody to. I could hear myself, but or papers. Somebody's shuffling.
Send another one. I couldn't read it first.
I'll make her call you.
Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you. Okay. That's on this one.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you could go ahead.
Do I need originals for everything? If I'm bringing a defendant back from jail, I need originals for everything. But okay, we can put the date on. Okay, so that's on Fury Beach. What do you got?
But we're gonna stay on
Okay.
Gemini.
So we're waiting for this blue light. Okay. It's like one of those things for the, at the racetracks, yellow, green, blue. God.
I've never been to the restaurant, but
No. I haven't gotten that to them. I did tell them. She told me when I spoke on about them, she said. Hinkle, I think is her name. She hasn't sent them yet.
Look, there are directions.
Y'all want to take a passport? Well, we have it in property. Did you write it for what? Oh, it's in there?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. We're off and running. Mr. Amoroso, I need to see those gentlemen over there. So with that, gentlemen, each of you, you're here for a court appearance with regard to an extradition. You're here because you've been detained on a warrant from another state. This morning, you're going to be asked whether you're going to waive or challenge the legality of your detention, or whether you wish to fight extradition to the state from which the warrant was issued. If you wish to challenge the extradition, if you don't wish to challenge the extradition and want to waive it, then you need to sign a waiver form. But you need to understand that you guys have certain rights. Well, you don't have the right to be represented by a lawyer this morning. You can hire your own lawyer if you wish to hire your own lawyer, and you need to tell me that you want to do that. You don't have to do that, but I don't want you to say anything whatsoever about the facts of your case. Please do not, because everything's being recorded. And if you do say something about the facts of your case in the state that which you're asked, who had asked for you to come back, orders a copy of the transcript, they're going to be taking that and use that against you. So that's the way that works. If you waive extradition, you're going to be held in custody until such time as the authorities from the state that has a warrant for you are notified and comes back and says that they want to take you. If they do want to take you, it takes about 7 or 10 days to take you, and then they bring you there. If they decide they don't want to take you, then you're going to be held here up to 30 days after you sign that waiver, and then we'll release you from custody. If that happens, the original charges are not dropped at all. You need to understand that the best way for you to take care of them is to go back to that state and take care of them. because you can be picked up on the warrant again as soon as you're released from here. It stays in place, and it can be, just continue happen over and over again. So again, the fastest way is to go back to the state, take care of whatever you need to take care of if in fact they choose not to take you at this point. You do have the right to fight the extradition if you want to. If you fight the extradition, what's going to happen is prosecutors from Florida are going to advise the other state that they need to start extradition proceedings for your return, which involves the various branches of the government, the state, including the governor's office. The process takes 2 or 3 months to complete. During that time, you're going to remain in Florida in custody. You're not going to be earning any credit for the time that you're here. I can't give you any legal advice whatsoever with regard to what to do or what not to do. So with that, if you do want to sign the waiver form, will be provided to you. You can waive it. If you don't want to, again, fighting it can take 2 or 3 months, so it's going to be up to you. Having said that, the state is Mr. Farnsworth? Yes? Okay. So with that, to the first individual, who is Nicholas Rosario. That you? Okay, you're held on a warrant from New York State, a parole warrant. Do you want to fight it, or you want to go back to New York? You want to fight extradition? Okay. So they're going to notify the state. You're going to stay here while you fight it. Tracy Walker. Okay, he's going to sign the extradition. Okay, that's fine. And Beerby already took care of it. Daniel Conroy? Okay, you want to fight it? You're out of Maryland. You don't get a public defender here. So you can fight the extradition? Okay. So,
my son got me in trouble. He's using my name.
okay, okay. That's fine.
Money out of my social security check, money out of my bank. I'm in waiting now.
I got you in custody if that's what he did, I can tell you that. So here's what you're going to do is, if in fact that's true, so if you want to sign the waiver form, they'll take you back there, you'll be able to fight what you need to fight.
I don't want to fight nothing. I want to get out of here. I've been here 10 days. The police already charged me with charges to keep me here rather than be extradited. I don't want to be here 2 more months waiting. Send me wherever I'm supposed to go and then get the hell out of here.
Okay, so I'll take that as you're going to sign a waiver form.
I just want to get out of here.
That's what you're going to need to do.
2 more months waiting for garbage.
Okay. Mr. Fernandez Maximo?
Yes, too.
Judge, he named me the suspension interpreter. We ordered one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you understand what I said? Okay, so do you want to fight it, or you want to waive it so you can go back and get it squared away? The charges that you've got you're being held on through the state of Louisiana are felony armed robbery with a firearm, possession of stolen things in the amount of $10,000, resisting a officer, and a domestic charge.
Yes, Texas also, Your Honor.
Oh,
There's 2 states.
yeah, you got, thank you very much. And you have Texas, you have aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon out of Texas. You will? Okay, so he'll sign for extradition. And the last is Leonardo Santos. Okay.
Judge, Mr. Santos, we don't need him to sign, just be to sign the order because we have a pre-signed waiver. When he got
Oh, okay.
probation, basically you already waived when you.
Oh, we got permission to come
on
here.
paper.
Okay.
And here's the copy of that. We waived extradition to New York.
That's okay. Here, that's,
Tell me, please, what my son got me into this time.
okay, here's what you got. I don't know if it's your son or not, but I'll tell you what it is. It says theft of the amount of $1,000 to $10,000 and trespassing.
And trespassing.
Yes.
Police officer guard at the airport, we never take a fight. would not let me retire in peace. He's done wrote up about Sentinel, the first person charged at the airport.
And y'all.
The state attorney took him and said, go ahead, you can leave the courtroom, you don't have to stay. He said, if you keep, taking the first person, if you kill yourself, and sending them in, and you're not even at the airport, he said, I'll go further into it. And they can stop that.
Can I tell you, that's, you're gonna have to take that up with your son and the state. Okay. So we're good. We're done with extraditions?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes? Nobody else?
I'm 76 years old, and the doctor says I'm dying anyway, and I ain't got much to lose.
Okay.
My son better stop. Leave me alone. Feel bad.
Okay, so that's done.
So she's not gonna leave, she's just leave here alone. She's in the back.
I signed everything for extradition. We're good to go. Good to go. Who, you need, anybody need the extradition docket? That's that.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, which one did I give you? The extra, did I give you the wrong one?
He has open charge, he has. Okay.
Hello? Oh, hey, how are you? Victor, can I call you back on this number? Because I'm in court, I'm a judge, so I didn't even, okay, I thought you were my cousin calling from Atlanta. I'll call you back in a little while. Thank you, bye.
They won't even call me back. Cause I had two for New York, for DOCCS. I had a lady, I spoke to Rosemary, who was the person for him, and I had the contact information. I called both of them, left them a detailed message. Cause he should have a pre-app. She said she looked, but she didn't see anything. Rosemary said she didn't see anything. No, but they haven't called me back. So I have to wait for her to call me back. Right. Exactly. I need to wait, but I did call them and I left them a detailed message. But I'm gonna tell you what the issue is with them though. When she pulled it up, it's 5 of them. Same name.
I leave?
When they leave.
And she asked me everything.
She can sit here, I don't know.
Whatever.
No, good. She should go up and watch paternity court with my interns. I have them watching paternity court taking notes.
Oh, yeah?
It's on TV. I'm just kidding. I told them that's what they had to do today, watch paternity court.
It's some kind of cruise. And I said, yes, that is that name. She said that. She said, some cruise. She said that. She said that. So I believe we do have the right man. She said that. It's a huge line because I don't know that it's a few of them. So I definitely got to get those press.
Did you see how it turned from 4 gig to can't just destroy something?
You know, that kid. That kid.
Yes.
Senor Fernandez Máximo Eduardo just stated that he does not want to waive the warrant extradition to Texas.
For Louisiana?
Which,
Did you sign one for Louisiana?
He did for Luciana.
Okay.
oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Okay.
Rosario, so I guess he doesn't have to sign it, does he?
Yeah, this is, which one is this one?
This is the one in Texas that he refused to sign.
Okay.
That's in this is
Oh.
the one in Louisiana, which he did sign. Conway. These two, I guess, they go back there. Thank you, sir.
Yes. No, they old. They old now. Yeah, they said it's like they mixed out.
These two, I guess, if they don't wanna sign,
Okay, and like these two, okay. That's fine. Oh, the judge got it. Oh, the judge, oh, she had to make the copies.
so we good?
Yes, I got to send these, she got to make the copies. Okay.
No, they're watching, they're doing an order that I gave them to do. And on TV, in my office, was something called paternity board.
Got it.
So I told them they needed to take a break from that and take notes on paternity card. What school are you in?
I'm not in law school yet. I'm still an undergrad.
Oh, where are you at?
GW.
Okay. What year are you in?
I'm going to be a senior next year.
My nephew goes to GW.
Oh, yeah?
But he's in the master's program. I don't know what he's taking.
So grad school. Nice.
Either wants to go to work for the CIA, FBI,
Oh, wow.
somewhere like that. He's learning Russian.
Wow.
My son's at UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's entering his sophomore year. He's studying Arabic,
Majoring in Arabic?
minor.
Okay.
Says it'll make him much more marketable.
Yeah, that's true. What's he majoring in?
Something called Peace, War, and Defense. It's like international relations, something or other. He likes it. He got into GW. And instead of Florida, which would have been free.
Of course, they never decide on that one.
Yeah.
It's usually the parents that won't even let them consider something out of state.
No, he convinced. Peace, War, and Defense is this. He convinced us. If he went to University of Florida, it'd be a traditional. What's it called? International relations, traditional
Yeah.
type of part of political science.
Yeah.
This one, because it has this specialty that's only
Yeah.
offered at a
That
few
makes
schools,
sense.
would.
Yeah.
And then together with if he took Arabic,
Yeah.
it would make
good
him
combination.
extremely marketable if he took this one, he took Arabic,
At UNC.
and he went to UNC.
Agreed.
So I want him to go to law school. And then, if you want to go into international relations, go into, I don't care if you don't.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't work as a lawyer. But I think
Go to
it's
law
a good,
school.
yeah, and he's gonna intern this summer at, he's done it before, he's gonna intern at United Nations. What do you need to do?
Call for a pickup. Transportation.
So,
That's incredible.
yeah, that's good, that's good. Well, my brother lives in New Jersey. He lives not too far from the border of New York. He lives 45 minutes.
Okay.
So he's gonna live at my brother's house, my brother and sister-in-law's house, and take the bus in the morning to the city, and then walk over to the
A lot of
UN.
people do that. It's common.
Well, yeah, he did that in 11th grade.
It's already young.
Yeah, he did that in 11th. Well, I had a client of mine from before I became a judge, who became a friend of mine, and we stayed friends for the last 20 years. And he is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is part of the United Nations.
Okay.
He works for the
So
United
that
Nations. So that's how he got the.
connections.
He got the interview. He got the interview, and if the interview went well,
Yeah. Then that's
then
it. That's,
then they could hire him. But if the interview went bad, because my friend said, "I'll get him an interview, but
Yeah.
I can't promise
no,
anything."
of course. I mean, you can't grant
Yeah.
that.
So we did good. So
It's amazing.
and they ended up liking him.
And he went to high school in Miami.
No, I went to Fort Lauderdale High.
Okay. I'm not originally from here.
Oh,
So
where are you from?
Puerto Rico.
Okay. Yeah, you guys got devastated, right?
Yeah.
Was your house and everything destroyed or no?
Yeah. But everybody's like nobody got luckier than anybody
Oh, really?
else. It was everybody. Yeah.
Who's the extradition case?
I've never
Who's the
done that
extradition?
before after being a judge for 15
Well,
and a
what's the
half years.
client?
I've never done
Oh
it.
really?
The rest is magistrates.
Oh, they're not calling out.
So magistrates, I'm gonna tell these individuals, depending upon where they are, what their charges are. Then, they're gonna determine whether or not, they're gonna make arguments as to what their bond should be, or an attorney with them is gonna make argument as to what their bonds are gonna be. And I'll set their bonds, or I'll leave them where they're at.
Okay.
So it's pretty, routine. You know, not many people watch it. So it's up to you.
So all these people are gonna.
Well, all these people,
Oh. Okay.
but they're gonna be on camera. And that's the state attorneys. That's gonna be pretrial and confinement status. That's the clerk. That's the PD.
Let's see.
I don't know who he is. He may be representing the municipalities. I'm not sure. Or he may be the private lawyer.
Used to be a PD or a private
He
attorney.
may be private attorney. So what are you majoring in?
Political science. And,
I'm sorry.
GW offers law and society.
Okay.
I'm more interested in that one.
Yeah, if you go to.
And then you wanna go to law school after?
Yeah.
Did you already start making an application or take LSAT?
Taking the LSAT in September for the first time, so simultaneously studying for that this summer.
Stephen Galen.
Like that?
Any way you want.
Are you ready? Is everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
Everybody ready? Yes, yes, yes?
Okay, I saw your motion, yes, I understand.
How about,
I can agree to it. I haven't really had a chance.
main jail's on, juveniles off. How about, Kelra Smith? Kelra Smith?
Approaching, Judge.
What's that?
She's approaching. She's here
Oh,
at Main.
okay. Okay, ma'am. Ms. Smith, you've been charged with the crime of petty theft, second degree, and resisting an officer without violence. Any arguments with regard to probable cause? Nope. Court does find probable cause with regard to each charge. As to the petty theft, we'll set a bond at $100. As to the resisting, $100. Anything else?
Judge, yes. In speaking with Ms. Smith, the $200 that Your Honor has set is something that unfortunately she's not going to be able to afford. In reviewing the PC affidavit, allegedly she goes into Walmart and takes shoes valued at $14.84. At this time, she informed me she's looking for work. She's not working. There's no one that can post her bond at this time. What she does for a living, she can is houses. She rents a room at Pompano Beach to her for about $50 a week. Your Honor, considering these are nonviolent offenses and the nature of the allegations, would Your Honor consider an ROR releasing her on pretrial release?
Just so the court's aware, Ms. Smith was arrested June 26th of this year for possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia. She was ROR and released June 27th.
And has she shown up to court since then on?
I don't believe there have been any court appearances on that case yet.
Okay. She was ROR'd on that other charge?
Yes, sir.
So that was the 27th of June, and we're at the 9th. I'll put her on standard pretrial on both.
Thank you very much.
She's got to show up once per week in person.
And, Your Honor, I've just asked for no return to this Walmart in Pompano.
Okay, ma'am, you can't go back to the Walmart in Pompano, the one that's located at 5001 North Federal Highway. Understand that?
Yes. Thank you, Judge.
Thank
What's the
you.
location of pretrial? As soon as you get out, you have to report there. If they're closed, you have to report there before 12 noon. Good luck, ma'am.
How about Nikki Paulino?
North Broward, Judge.
Nikki Paulino?
Your Honor, we have to call her down. She wasn't showing at North Broward earlier. We have to find out where she is.
Okay, I'll put it on recall. Thanks. How about Felicia Mercado Eduardo?
Judge, my in this case, Mr. McLawrence texted me. He said he'll be there at 1:30. I believe he's representing Ms. Mercado.
Okay, we'll put that on recall also. Thank you. How about Soraya Story?
Ms. Story is here present, Judge. She is approaching.
Ms. Story, you're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Any argument with regard to probable cause? Court does find probable cause with regard to the crime. As to anybody not contact the victim?
No, Your Honor, our office has not had contact with the alleged victim.
Okay, what do we want to do with regard to Ms. Story?
Well, and Your Honor, if I could rephrase, it's a file charge, so obviously my office has had contact. I just haven't since.
Okay. From the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, Judge. In speaking with Ms. Story, I believe the date of incident on this allegation is February 27, 2017. Having said that, Judge, my understanding this is her first arrest ever in her life. She is a registered voter. She does work. She's a waitress at a restaurant called Hookaholics, where she just started. She makes about $5 plus tip. Besides that, Judge, she is going to school. She goes to Florida Memorial University. She's studying marketing. She's a senior. She has about a 2.9 GPA. She lives in Miami Gardens with a roommate. Judge, she's going to be contacting her father to help post her bond. We'd be asking somewhere around the neighborhood of a $2,000 bond. He's a teacher, so obviously funds are limited.
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting a $10,000 bond, not only based on the level of violence alleged, but I'd also note it looks like she was brought down here from Jefferson County at the time of the offense. An address of in Jacksonville was listed, but then I see a permanent address in Miami Gardens, so I do have concerns about her ties to the community. And obviously, we'd be requesting no victim contact.
It's already been filed, right?
It has, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I'll set her bond at $3,500. No contact whatsoever with
It's Shanika Richards, Your Honor.
Shanika Richards. Okay.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Proceed.
Judge, they have a young lady up in Pompano by the name of Sandy Green. She's on page 3 of our docket, but you may not have any paperwork on her. If you could call the case, just to see if her bond has been posted.
Where's she at?
She's in North Broward, Your Honor.
Sandy Green?
Yes, sir. It has? Yes. It has? It's been posted, Miss Green.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good luck. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. How about Stephen Koblick?
Judge, this is also municipal ordinance, I believe, from the Fort Lauderdale. Mr. McLaurin's also, he's representing Mr. Kovlik. If you could put that on brief recall.
Okay, we'll put that. Mr. Koblick, we'll get with you as soon as your lawyer gets here. Nikolai Solden?
Mr. Sullivan?
He's a medical research.
Oh, Judge, I've been informed he's a medical reset.
John Rodriguez?
Mr. Rodriguez, come on up, please. He's here.
Mr. Rodriguez, you've got two charges. One charge is unlawful possession of personal identification of another, as well as an outstanding KPS issued for operating without a driver's license. Your bond on the operating without a valid driver's license is $1,000, and your bond on the unlawful possession of personal identification information is $100.
Judge, Mr. Rodriguez is asking me if Your Honor would consider resolving both of the counts here today.
Court does find probable cause with regard to each. I don't have a traffic file. What's, that's fine. You want to resolve both your cases
Yes, sir.
for the state?
Your Honor, I saw that the previous offer made by the state on count 2 is a withholding court cost, so I would relay that same offer, and I'd offer adjudication time served on count 1.
Let me talk to him, Judge.
Does he have any priors?
1 moment, Judge.
Judge wishes to accept the state's offer.
Hold on, before he does, on the unlawful possession, I just want to know if he has a prior.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Anything?
Your Honor, I'll go through them, but I'm getting hits out of Arizona, Georgia, New York, Pennsylvania.
Are they misdemeanors? Are they felonies or?
Out of Pennsylvania, 2013, false ID to law enforcement and violation of their Drug Controlled Substance Act.
Okay, that's fine. Then it'd be an adjudication, time served on the unlawful possession, and the other one was a withholding court costs, if he wants to resolve.
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, raise your right hand. Swear firm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do?
Okay, so you wish to resolve your case today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, put your hand down. This is what you're gonna be doing by resolving your case. What you're gonna be doing is you're gonna enter a plea with regard to the case of either guilty or not guilty, guilty or no contest to it. As a result of that, you're gonna be waiving your right to a trial, you're waiving your right to cross-examine witnesses, you're waiving your right to hear witnesses that are called by the state. You're agreeing that the state can meet its burden of proof of proving the case, you're waiving your right to appeal the case, and you're agreeing with the facts of the case. You understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, the consequences of doing this are as follows. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you subject yourself to deportation proceedings being brought against you by Department of Homeland Security, understand?
I do.
Okay, if you're on probation, parole, or something somewhere else, this can hurt you in that proceeding. You're gonna be admitting to a crime in this one, so it could hurt you on something else you're on, you understand?
I do.
It could affect your driving privileges in the future, you understand?
I do.
Okay, and knowing all that, you still wish to resolve your case, is that correct?
Yes, Your
And you
Honor.
sure you want to do this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so with regard to the crime of unlawful possession of personal identification of another, how do you plead, guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Okay, and with regard to the charge of operating without a valid driver's license, how do you plead, guilty or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Court accepts your plea, court finds you to be alert and intelligent, court finds you freely and voluntarily at your plea without threat or coercion, with the full understanding of its legal effects and consequence, with the advice of competent legal counsel. With that, you're gonna be sentenced as follows. On the unlawful possession of a personal identification of another, you're gonna be adjudicated guilty and sentenced to time served, assessed court costs. With regard to the driver infraction, it's gonna be a withhold of adjudication and court costs. You're gonna have to pay these costs. If you don't pay these costs, what's gonna happen to you is State of Florida is gonna notify, the Department of Motor Vehicles is gonna notify the Department of Motor Vehicles is gonna be notified by the clerk's office. And then what will happen to you is they're gonna suspend your privileges. You won't be able to drive even on a valid driver's license, because it will become suspended for not paying the court costs. Understand?
I do, Your Honor.
With that, you have 30 days to appeal this sentence to court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, North Broward has indicated they've located Miss Paulino.
Okay, and what's that?
He resolved them.
What? Okay, so that's Miss Nikki Paulino?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she's at where? North Broward? Ms. Paulino, you're charged with two crimes. One is possession of cannabis as a misdemeanor, and the other is possession of drug paraphernalia. Is that going to be charged as a misdemeanor or felony?
It's a misdemeanor, Your Honor.
Okay, so with that, your bond on the possession of cannabis, any argument with regard to probable cause?
None as to probable cause, Judge.
Okay,
but
court does find probable cause with regard to each of the charges.
I haven't had a chance to speak to Miss Paulino because they didn't know where she was. I don't know if she's inclined to try and resolve this today. Miss Paulino, are you interested in resolving the case today?
Yes, sir.
It's 1 gram of marijuana, Judge.
What's her priors?
I didn't see anything.
She wants there to be a withholding cost on both of them.
The judge would withhold adjudication, Miss Paulino, which means you would not have a conviction on your record. You would have to pay court costs, however. Is that something you'd like to do today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is what's gonna happen to you. With regard to each of the individual charges, you're gonna be entering a plea, you're gonna put your hand down. You're gonna be entering a plea today. By entering a plea, you're gonna be waiving your constitutional rights to trial as well as other constitutional rights you have. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be waiving your right to a trial on the case. You're gonna be waiving your right to have an attorney cross-examine witnesses that are called by the state on your case. You're gonna be waiving your right to hear testimony with regard to the accusing you of this case. Understand, by the state of Florida. So what you're doing by entering a plea is you're agreeing that the state can meet its burden of proof. You're waiving your right to appeal anything that I'm doing today with regard to the case. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So what you're doing is basically agreeing that the state's right with regard to bringing these charges against you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's consequences of doing this. If you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea to a crime shall result in deportation proceedings being brought against you by the Department of Homeland Security. If you get in trouble in the future, this could affect you, meaning it would be a prior of you. If you're on supervision anywhere else in the world, this could affect you. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
It's a drug offense, so the Department of Motor Vehicles will be notified if they decide to do something with regard to your driving privileges. Then you're gonna have to fight that with them, but you can't come back and vacate your plea, you understand?
Yes, sir.
And lastly, because you're agreeing to pay court costs, well, you're gonna be obligated, they're not your agreement, you have to pay those. But what'll happen is, if you don't pay the court costs, the clerk's office is gonna notify the Department of Motor Vehicles. Then they're gonna notify you that your driving privileges are suspended until you pay these court costs, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you understand what you're doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you don't have any problem doing it, and resolving your case today, is that correct?
That's correct,
Okay,
sir.
so you want to waive all these rights I went over with you?
Yes, sir.
Understand the consequence?
Yes, sir.
Believe it to be in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
And you understand you don't have to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with regard to the possession of cannabis as a misdemeanor, how do you plead, guilty or no contest? Choose, guilty or no contest? Pick no contest.
No contest.
Okay, with regard to the crime of possession of drug paraphernalia, how do you plead?
No contest.
Court accepts your plea. Court finds you to be alert and intelligent. Court finds you freely and voluntarily at your pleas without threat or coercion, with the full understanding of its legal effects and consequence, with the advice of competent legal counsel. With that, it'll be a withhold of adjudication on each count and assess court costs. Anything else with Ms. Polino?
No, Your Honor.
You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. With regard to, the next would be Matthew Gibson.
All right, good luck, Nikki.
Thank you.
Do you have a case?
I do, Your Honor. I'm here on Stephen Galen. I filed a motion for pretrial release on non-monetary conditions.
Hold on, let me find you,
Sure.
He's on
Your
page
Honor,
3 of the second look
Is
documentation.
Gaffney or Galen?
Galen, Galen. This is David Fry on behalf of Stephen Galen.
Let me find him. I don't have a probable cause. Galen?
He's on the second
With
look
this,
documentation.
this second pile I left up there, Your Honor, it should be,
Oh, this add-on pile here?
yes.
I still have a Gaffney.
There should be a Galen.
In the probable cause affidavit?
If there's an
Got
extra
it,
copy
I got it,
stated,
I got it,
can
I got
have
it,
one
I
as
got
well.
it, I got it. I got it. Okay, so he's on for what? He's on for magistrates today or no?
No, Your Honor, he's already been through magistrates. I filed a motion for pretrial release on non-monetary conditions. We're asking if you could sign an order putting him on level 2, custody to James House. I did notice Mr. Ray Rapaglia, the director of James House, to be here. I think he might be over at Division, which is where I thought this hearing was going to take place.
Okay.
But he has confirmed with me through text and through my client's mother, who is here, that he will take Stephen Galen back at James House.
What's the state's position? Was he already released once?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he was arrested on July 6th. He had his first appearance on the 7th, and his total bond was set at $2,025.
If Mr. Galen cannot afford that bond, nor can his family. For Your Honor's knowledge, I'm representing him pro bono.
If it's going to be with the GPS level 2, where they would have to verify first before he could be released with James Club, then I wouldn't have an objection to that.
Okay, then that's what I'll do, is I'll go ahead and release him on, this GPS level 2 custody James house? James
Club.
James Club.
The attorney is going to write the order,
I'll write the order, yes.
and on the order, you must write, the place where the body is to be taken, must also say GPS level.
I will include that.
Pardon?
I will include that. The,
I can't hear. How do I turn off whatever noise is in the background?
There you go.
Huh?
There you go.
Mute the mic.
I do this thing.
There you go.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, the attorney will have to prepare that order, Your Honor.
That's fine.
Yeah, it should just have, the place as well as the full address, name and phone number of a contact person, and that address that's on there needs to be the place where the body is going to be taken.
When they come and get him? James Club? Don't they have, they come and pick people up as opposed to BSO having to take him.
Well, if they're going to come to pick him up, if that's what they've arranged with James Club, then we need to have it that he must be released to whomever or the designee of James Club, and they will know to bring their identification when coming to the jail to receive the body.
Just for clarification, obviously, he would have to comply with all rules and conditions.
I did finish, but yeah.
I
He has to
didn't
comply
know
with all
if you-
terms, conditions, requirements of James Club, and he has to reside at James Club until further order of the court.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you need this back?
Of course, I'll let you look it over. And State, do you have an extra copy of the probable cause affidavit?
Here, you can have mine.
There you
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Deborah?
Yes. It's right over here. Grab it. There you go. Okay. You have a case too? What do you got?
Page 8. His name is Joseph Carrara. Antonio Valiente on his behalf.
You're a private attorney.
And, Your Honor, if I could be heard before the court makes a probable cause.
Okay, well, hold on, let me just read it.
Sure.
Okay. You wish to make argument?
Your Honor, I just, count one should be a DUI, third within 10 years. One of his prior DUIs, there was an arrest out of Missouri, but I did not see a conviction, so I can't represent at this point that he has 3 prior convictions. It would still be a felony, it's a third within 10 though.
Okay.
And then, Judge, as to the, have an argument as to the bribery count. There's actually no PC for commercial bribery, which is the charge.
Saying you wanted to transfer money to her account?
Excuse me? Well, it's.
The last page says the defendant said, Money App asked what? He stated, Money App, I could transfer money so we don't have to waste everybody's time.
That's correct, Judge. However, the charge that's on the complaint affidavit is commercial bribery, which is, it's not bribery of a public servant, which is, I think, what they maybe intended to charge. However, looking at just the four corners of the arrest form, it's the incorrect statute. They cite 838.16, which is commercial bribery. There's no probable cause for that. I mean, that has to be an agent or employee of another, a trustee, guardian, lawyer, physician, accountant, appraiser, officer, director, partner, manager of an organization, or an arbitrator or referee. It doesn't cover public servants. 838.016 does cover public servants.
Okay. From the state?
Your Honor, I don't believe the court is bound necessarily by the statute number that's written down. I think the court can rely upon the allegations. And looking at this, 838.015 defines bribery and does also state that any person who commits bribery commits a felony in the second degree. So it's actually more serious than a third-degree felony in this situation, since it was a police officer.
And Judge, for purposes of probable cause argument, we are limited to the four corners of the complaint affidavit. And here, not only does it cite 838.16, but the name of the charge is offering a commercial bribe. I mean, they didn't even, it's the name that corresponds with the statute.
What I'll do is court's gonna find probable cause of the DUI, third within 10 years, find probable cause with regard to neglect of a child, probable cause with regard to the open container, and probable cause with regard to failure to submit. With regard to the bribery, the court will give the state 48 hours to amend.
Well,
Okay.
Your Honor, what I
If you want.
and I just want to make sure this would be satisfactory to the court's ruling. BSO cannot, there's nothing that can be done at this point to amend the charge that's listed. I could have the officer prepare an affidavit clarifying what he intended to charge.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. With regard to count one, court's gonna set the bond at $15,000. Level one pretrial release with the scram.
Your Honor, may I, is the court inclined to put a tap, transdermal alcohol detector?
Same thing.
It's different.
Okay, it's the same device. Okay, so what do you call it?
TAD.
TAD,
Yes,
TAD?
Yes, sir.
With the TAD, and the TAD has GPS too, correct?
It's gonna be two monitors.
Okay.
TAD only offers RF
Okay, with the GPS
and TAD.
and TAD.
Thank you.
Judge, and
Okay, that says to count one.
Yes, Your Honor.
As to count two, the bond will be set at $2,500. As to count three, it's ROR. As to count four, it's $100.
And just with respect to the felony DUI, Mr. Carrara is a stay-at-home dad. He supports his wife, who's a full-time student. She's in anesthesiology school. This would provide a tremendous hardship for the family if they are to put forth a $15,000 bond. Would you consider reducing that in half, Your Honor?
Nope. It's gonna stay as I just said. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Okay, back to the regular, Mr. McLawrence, you got two so far. Do you have more than two, or you need some time, and you wanna wait? Just tell me just come up when you're ready. Yes. Okay. As to Matthew Gibson?
North Broward, Judge.
North Broward, Your Honor, he's a medical
you.
reset.
Medical reset?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. How about Carlito Warglet?
Bonded, Judge.
Thank you. As to Dearney Jones,
He's here present at main, Judge.
thank you. Mr. Jones, you got an outstanding KPS 4. A traffic infraction, it looks like. A traffic infraction for operating a vehicle having an expired driver's license of more than 6 months. Your bond is set at $250.
Judge, I'm speaking with Mr. Jones. He wishes to.
I do find probable cause based upon the warrant. Go ahead.
He's wishing to ask the court if you would consider resolving his case today for time served.
From the state?
Frankly, my offer is gonna be a withhold.
What's that?
My offer is gonna be a withhold.
Okay, so it'd be a withhold in court costs.
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
Okay. Not your offer?
No, not my offer.
Okay, state's offer, okay. Okay, so with that, Mr. Jones, you're charged with, I believe it was operating a vehicle or having an expired driver's license of more than 6 months. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're resolving your case today. Swear firm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so go ahead and put your hand down.
Okay.
Okay, these are the rights that you have. By resolving your case, you're going to be waiving certain constitutional rights you have, as well as understanding consequences. So you got the following is, you have the right to be represented by a lawyer. You have been represented by a lawyer. You're going to be waiving your right to a trial before a judge and a jury. You're going to be waiving your right to fight the case at trial, which means listen to the state present its evidence and then argue against that evidence by cross-examining witnesses. You're going to be waiving your right to self-incrimination, which means you're waiving your right to remain silent. So what you're doing by entering a plea is you're waiving those rights. You're agreeing the state can meet its burden of proof. You're waiving your right to appeal it, and you're saying that everything that's been alleged against you is correct and that you were either in possession of or operating without a valid driver's license, one that was over 6 months. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's consequences to doing this. If you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea to a crime shall result in deportation proceedings being brought against you by Department of Homeland Security. You get in trouble in the future, subject yourself to a more severe penalty. This can affect your driving privileges in the future, meaning even though you're receiving a withhold of adjudication, if you don't pay the court costs that are attached to this, the clerk's office is going to notify the Department of Motor Vehicles. The Department of Motor Vehicles is going to notify you, and they're going to suspend your driving privilege until you do pay those court costs. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and knowing all this, you still wish to resolve your case?
I have to, sir. Yes.
Well, you don't have to. You either want to or you don't. That's
I
up
want
to you.
resolve it. Yeah, I have too much things to do.
I know. You can, for whatever reason you want to do it, are you doing it freely and voluntarily is what I'm asking you.
Yes, I have. Yes, yes.
Okay, so with that, do you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Do you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
Yes.
Understand
yes,
the consequences?
Yes, sir.
Believe it to be in your best interest?
Yeah.
And you recognize, again, you don't have to. It's because you want to. Is that correct?
Yes, I want to.
Okay, then to the crime of either operating a vehicle without a valid driver's license, or having a valid driver's license, having a expired driver's license that's over 6 months expired. How do you plead, guilty or no contest?
Contest, sir.
What's that?
No contest, sir.
Okay, court finds you be alert and intelligent. Court finds you freely and voluntarily entered your plea without threat or coercion, with the full understanding of its legal effects and consequence, and with that, court's going to withhold adjudication and assess court costs. Anything else for Mr. Jones? You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck, sir.
Can I or will I? What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I can't go back.
So before you go there, just make sure.
I'll call you.
Good to go.
I'll call you. Oh, no, you know what it is? They said this, how do we turn this off? Oh, nope, Juan, I'm wrong. It is not a drill. I just got it text. Okay, sounds good. Okay, Paul Madden?
He's here, President Main Judge. He's approaching.
Okay, Mr. Madden, you've got, you're being held on 3 outstanding, cases for your failure to appear. One is for driving with a suspended license, your bond set at $250 on that. The other is possession of cannabis, your bond set at $100 on that. And the second is another driving while license suspended, your bond's $250 on that. Court does find probable cause with regard to each, based upon the capiases that I have reviewed.
He has a no bond hold on a felony capias on count 1, Your Honor.
Okay, so you also, it's a no bond hold?
It's a, charge number 1 is carrying concealed firearm capias. This is also pleading out to either of the DWSs with habitual license.
Okay. I don't have anything showing a no bond hold then. Is that
No,
on another
these are-
case?
These, you see this starts with charge number 2?
Oh, okay, so this would add it on to,
Yes.
okay, so you're also being held no bond on the other, so you can take care of this when you take care of those.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. How about Stephen Gaffney?
Mr. Gaffney is here, President Judge. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Gaffney, you're charged with grand theft, an amount of over $300 less than $5,000. Your bond set at $1,000 on that. Petty theft, second degree, your bond set at $750 on that. And then, is there a third grand theft?
Yes.
I only see,
The last paragraph refers to 2 prior instances.
yeah, the second grand theft, and that's from some Netgear routers. So your bond on that is also set at $1,000. Any argument with regard to probable cause?
No, Your Honor.
Court
Appears
does find
everything was
probable
on
cause.
videotape.
Court does find probable cause with regard to all 3. So you got a total bond of $2,750, sir.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Gaffney, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to afford to post that monetary bond. He's 53 years old, been residing in South Florida his whole entire life. At this time, he's not working. What he does is he helps take care of his wife who's suffering from polio, and she's not working either. They live locally in Davie. They rent an efficiency $125 per week, so we'd be asking you to consider releasing Mr. Gaffney on pretrial release.
What's the state's position?
Your Honor, Mr. Gaffney, in 2015, he pled out a felony drug charge to paraphernalia, got 270 days. In 2005, he was convicted of resisting with violence, tampering with evidence, 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, aggravated fleeing and eluding at a high speed, possession of cocaine. He was sentenced to 115 months in state prison as a habitual offender in PRR. And going back to the 90s, he has multiple convictions and prison sentences for burglaries, grand theft, dealing stolen property. I'm requesting that the standard bonds be kept in place.
Okay, court is going to keep the bonds that were set in place. Thank you. Okay, how about Daniel Santana?
It's a medical lease, Your Honor.
Medical lease.
How about Christopher Gennard?
No problem.
Where's he?
No problem.
North Broward? Okay, Mr. Gennard, you're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, criminal mischief as a misdemeanor, and resisting an officer without violence as a misdemeanor. Any arguments with regard to probable cause?
Not as to probable cause, Your Honor.
The court does find probable cause with regard to each. As to bond?
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking the court for pretrial release.
Your Honor, excuse me, I'd be opposing outright release to pretrial, as this is a dangerous crime as defined by the Florida legislature. And I would be requesting a $3,500 bond in order of no victim contact.
I don't believe that Mr. Gennard is gonna be able to make that kind of bond, Judge. He has been here, his entire life, he's been living in South Florida, he has extensive family here, including his father. And I believe his only prior contact with the criminal justice system is a driving on a suspended license charge, from what he's told me. This is I don't know exactly what happened here, but apparently he threatened someone with a beer bottle, but didn't hit him. So this is not a funny matter, Mr. Gennard. But did not strike the victim. I know it's a crime that is designated as a dangerous crime by the Florida legislature. However, in light of the fact that Mr. Gennard is not going to be able to post a monetary bond, the only way he's going to get out is if the court places him on pretrial release. And we would agree with whatever conditions the court deemed to be appropriate, of course, including no further contact with the alleged victim in the case. Again, Judge, I don't know what happened here. I know Mr. Gennard is looking forward to his day in court. But I'd ask the court to consider pretrial release. He does have a stable address, lengthy ties, great ties to the community, and a very minimal criminal history.
Is this his permanent address in Coral Springs?
What's your address, Mr. Gennard?
I have two addresses. One in Coral Springs, 7509 Northwest 40th Court, Coral Springs, Florida, 33065.
Is that where you live?
No, that's where my grandmother is. But one that I recently was at just now that I had issues with was in Sunrise, Florida, 10811 Northwest 36th Street, 33351, Sunrise, Florida.
Do you know who Annette Jackson is?
I do not, Judge. And I would ask that Mr. Gennard not be asked
I'm not
that
asking him, that's why I looked at you.
question. I've never met the lady, Judge, no.
Well, I mean, is any what I'm trying to figure out, is there any relationship?
I do not know.
The impression I got, Your Honor, is that they were stranger. It looks like she's a business owner or an employee of a local business.
Yeah, I
where this
couldn't
happened.
tell whether it
That's the
was or
impression
anybody
I got.
knew her. Okay, here's what I'll do is, he'll be on, RR level 2, pretrial release with the GPS monitor, required to reside at 7509 Northwest 40th Court, Coral Springs, Florida. He says that's with his grandmother, and that's one of his addresses.
And just for that,
And you have to verify that address, obviously.
what if the grandmother say he can't live there, but he can live
Yes, that's one. That's my grandma's address. That's correct.
specific address or should we just?
No, I want that specific address. He says is his address. And he alluded to difficulties at another address. That's why I'm picking that address, meaning the Coral Springs address. If he has an issue with regard to that address, then what to do is, Public Defender's Office is representing him, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then bring it before the division judge to find out another address where he can reside at.
Very good, Judge. I also have his father's phone number, so I can make a call to his dad.
So I did find probable cause, so that.
Good. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
All right, good luck, Mr. Gennard.
Okay,
All right, thank you, sir.
Harold Dawson,
It's here, President Judge.
where's he, main jail?
I'm ready on Stephen Koblik whenever you're ready, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll do that. Let me get Mr. Dawson squared away first. Okay, so with regard to Mr. Dawson, he's charged with living off the earnings of a prostitute. As to probable cause, any argument?
It appears the money was allegedly found in his pocket. I think there's enough for probable cause.
Okay, court does find probable cause with regard to it. As to bond?
Judge, we're going to be asking Your Honor to consider setting a bond as far as $1,000. He's 55 years old. He's been here in South Florida now for about 35 years. He does have priors, but I believe it's dated about 30 years ago. No convictions. And no convictions. Judge, right now he lives in Boynton Beach. He rents with his family. His monthly rent is about $2,500. They share all the expenses. He's gonna be contacting a friend to help post his bond. His friend works in customer service, so obviously it's an hourly minimum wage. So therefore, that's why we're asking for $1,000 bond on Mr. Dawson's behalf, Judge.
And Your Honor, based on the allegations and nature of the offense, I'd be requesting a $5,000 bond.
Okay, we'll set the bond at $3,500 on Mr. Dawson.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you got, which one do you have, Mr. McLawrence?
Judge, I have Stephen Koblik.
Okay, I got that. What are we doing on Mr. Koblik?
Judge, he's here on a KPS on a 2018 alcoholic beverage open container municipal ordinance out of the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I've discussed with him, Judge, he would like to resolve this matter. I was going to ask if the court would adjudicate and time serve him.
I don't have any problem with that. Okay, Mr. Koblik, raise your right hand. Swear firm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my understanding is you want to resolve your case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're originally charged with, an outstanding alcoholic beverage violation, so the maximum period of time you face in custody would be, is it 60 days or 30 days?
Yeah. Yes, Judge, 60 days.
60 days, you understand that?
Yes, sir. Your Honor.
Sorry about that, Judge.
Okay, so you're resolving your case based upon you
Yes,
being
sir.
adjudicated and just time served, that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so listen to the rights that you have and those that you're waiving. You have the right to a trial before a judge and a jury. You have the right to be represented by a lawyer. You've been represented by Mr. McLawrence. He would have the right to cross-examine witnesses that have been called by the state. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You have the right to remain silent. What you're doing by entering a plea is waiving those rights. What you're doing by entering a plea is waiving any defenses you have, agreeing state can meet its burden of proof, and waiving your right to appeal any decision. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's consequences. If you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea to a crime shall result in deportation proceedings being brought against you by Department of Homeland Security. If you're on supervision somewhere else, this could reflect, or this could violate that supervision. This could affect you in the future with regard to being a prior act. It could affect your driving privileges. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What happens with municipal ordinance court costs? Do those also go to the Department of Motor Vehicles if they don't pay them? I don't know the answer. So what happens is you're going to have court costs assessed against you. If you don't pay those court costs and you have a driver's license, it can be suspended for not paying those. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
And knowing all this, you still wish to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
And you're doing it freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
Yes, sir.
Understand the consequences?
Yes, sir.
Believe it to be in your best interest?
Yes.
And you recognize you do not have to.
Yes.
To an alcoholic beverage violation, how do you plead, guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Court accepts your plea. Court finds you to be alert and intelligent. Court finds you freely and voluntarily your plea without threat or coercion, with an understanding as to the effects and consequences. With that, he'll be adjudicated guilty on the charge and sentenced to time served, and his costs will be a lien. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome. You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, sir. How about Mr. Felicia Mercado?
She's here, Judge. And, Your Honor, we're going to need a Spanish interpreter with her. I was able to speak with her a little bit, and I do know that she does want to resolve her matter.
Okay.
And we did call for the Spanish interpreter. We weren't able to get anyone live on the phone, but we left a voice message.
Okay. I don't even know how we try again. Everybody's calling to try and find one. So let me put her on recall for a few minutes while they try and find one. But
Judge, I'm gonna run out.
I need you to explain to her the repercussions with, do they still have to do the AIDS testing and all that other kind of stuff as on an adjudication of this charge?
Yes, Judge, she would have to, show proof of, HIV testing.
Okay. Okay, so what did you just say? I'm sorry. Okay, so they're sending someone, put you on recall for a few
It'll
minutes.
take about 15 minutes, Judge, because the north wing was closed, so.
Oh, that's right.
But it's,
It may take a little bit of time because there's an emergency in the north wing and they're evacuating the building.
It's all clear.
Oh, it's all clear?
yeah, it's all clear now, but people are just starting to come back, so.
Okay, so give it a few minutes?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay. So how about Carrie Jean-Philippe?
Charge bonded.
Bonded. How about Clyde Taylor?
Think North Broward.
North Broward.
She can sign. That's a felony. Go ahead. Clyde Taylor? How are you, Mr. Taylor?
I'm all right.
Mr. Taylor, you're charged by probable cause affidavit with, is it burglary of a structure, right? Burglary of a structure, as well as petty theft. Any argument with regard to probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor. As to count one, the probable cause affidavit indicates that the value of the cash register was $2,500 and that the cash register was damaged. It doesn't say that the cash register was completely damaged or totaled or couldn't be used ever again or that it couldn't be repaired for something substantially less than $1,000. So as to the element of the amount of money involved, I would argue that that probable cause threshold has not been met.
Your Honor, considering that it says that the cord to the cash register was cut, I imagine the register would have to be replaced. For probable cause purposes, I think that's enough. I can't advise the court. It is a PBL, but I was not going to be seeking a no bond hold regardless, either way.
Again, though, without knowing the value of replacing the cord, we don't know if that would cost more than $1,000.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna find probable cause with regard to the burglary of a structure without a money amount to it. And then probable cause with regard to petty theft. Issues with regard to bond?
Judge,
go ahead.
I had Mr. Taylor as being listed in the main jail, so I haven't spoken to him. Can you afford a bond, Mr. Taylor? Mr. Taylor?
Huh?
Can you afford?
I did not buy anything yet or anything.
I didn't understand what you said, sir.
He said he didn't bond
I did not buy
anything.
anything yet or anything. I did not buy any bond paperwork or anything.
I don't know that he's able to understand what you're asking him and answer the question.
Are you having any difficulty understanding me, Mr. Taylor?
I know what a bond is.
Okay, what he's asking you is, are you able to afford a bond?
Well, I don't know when I owned that bond thing somewhere, and that was somewhere else, I think. Whether I owned a bond thing or not, but I had anything with that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor. I can't understand a thing you're saying.
Whether I owned a bond thing or not was somewhere else, so. A bond thing with money in it or not, separate.
Judge, I'd ask for a $1,000 bond, Judge.
What's his priors?
Yeah, and I don't know if pretrial is in. I looked him up, Your Honor, and it was very difficult to find any information because I got numerous hits on various names. There's no social security number listed in any of the paperwork. So I really can't be certain regarding a criminal history or really anything else about Mr. Taylor.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's bonded at $1,000 on count one and $100 on count two. And then PD needs to probably have him evaluated, I would say. But that's up to you guys. Okay. And Antonio Hagman, is that you?
Yes, sir, but you pronounced it wrong. It is pronounced Antonio Hageman.
Sorry about that. I'm bad with names.
You're fine.
I apologize. Okay. So your charge is aggravated battery causing bodily harm or disability.
Your Honor, may I say one thing on
Oh,
behalf
no. Don't say anything, okay? Don't say anything yet. Let me just finish reading your arrest warrant. The affidavit to arrest. Okay. Any argument with regard to probable cause? I do find probable cause with regard to the crime.
Your Honor,
Say it again, Your Honor.
Good. His bond by the arrest warrant is set
yes.
at $28,000. Any argument with regard to that?
Your Honor, yeah, Judge Wilbur, he said it at 25,000.
At 25.
I'm requesting that be kept in place, not only based on the level of violence that's alleged in this affidavit, which it's pretty horrific. And Your Honor, I would also advise the court, Mr. Hageman is being held no bond for.
I see that. He's got no bond for a grand theft, and he's got violation of probation also, no bond.
It's a violation of pretrial. He did not report to pretrial.
Okay.
So, and we just be asking for no victim contact.
Okay. So with regard to this case, he's already been magistrated with regard to the 17 case and the violation of pretrial, correct?
They wouldn't bring him. He wouldn't be brought for the capias and the violation of pretrial for first appearance. He'll just have to go to division.
Okay. Okay, so with that, who's the division?
Judge Lynch.
Okay, so with that, court's gonna keep his bond at $25,000 on the aggravated battery causing bodily harm or disability. And then the other cases will be brought before Judge Lynch.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. What about, we did Gaffney, right? We did that one, correct? Yes? That's, hey, how are you? Okay. We did Gaffney, right? That's the second one in Gaffney. How about Hong Dai, or Day?
She posted, Judge.
Posted bond?
Oh, okay, great. Oh, yes, Judge, the Spanish interpreter is here, Your Honor.
I see. We did that. Okay, so let's go back. Mr. McLawrence has now appeared here. On, it's Mercado?
Main.
She's main jail, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Mercado, first of all, do you find probable cause with regard to the crime of solicitation for prostitution?
Señora Mercado, primero que nada, considero que existen indicios probables para el delito de prostitución.
Okay, and I'm appointing Mr. McLawrence to represent you with regard to the case.
Estoy designando al señor McLawrence para que la represente en este caso.
And my understanding is you wish to resolve your case, is that correct?
Tengo entendido que usted desea resolver su caso, ¿es así?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the state's offer?
¿Cuál es la oferta de la fiscalía?
Or what's the city's offer?
Es un caso municipal.
Okay.
Señor juez, no obtení una oferta de parte de la municipalidad, pero bajo el estatuto 301 el juez tiene discreción.
Okay, and then what are you asking to resolve it for?
¿Qué está solicitando para resolverlo?
Sí.
would ask for withhold, judicial notice of time served, and, as the court mentioned, HIV testing, proof of HIV testing within 60 days.
Señor juez, no conozco los antecedentes de la señora, pero solicitaría un fallo sin condena, que se tome nota judicial del tiempo ya descontado y, como ya se hizo notar también, una comprobante de haberse realizado la prueba del VIH dentro del plazo de 60 días.
Is that what you want to do, ma'am?
¿Es eso lo que desea hacer, señora?
Ok.
Ok.
Sí.
Okay, so raise your right hand.
Levante su mano derecha.
Swear, affirm, tell the
Jura o
truth,
afirma decir la verdad,
whole truth,
toda la verdad
and nothing but the truth.
y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Put your hand down.
Baje la mano.
Okay, so you're going to be entering a plea to the crime.
Usted hoy se va a declarar con respecto a este delito.
By doing that, you're going to be waiving certain rights that you have,
Al hacer eso, usted va a estar,
and there's
va a estar
consequences
renunciando
to.
a ciertos derechos que usted hubiera tenido y hay consecuencias.
Okay, understand that?
¿Entiende?
No escuché bien.
I can't hear very well.
Well,
Usted va a estar resolviendo su caso hoy y al hacerlo va a estar renunciando a ciertos derechos que hubiera tenido y eso tiene consecuencias, ¿entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, these are the consequences.
Las consecuencias son las siguientes.
You're waiving your right to a trial before a judge
Está renunciando a su derecho de ir a juicio ante juez
or a jury.
o jurado.
You're waiving your right to fight the case.
Está renunciando a su derecho de pelear el caso.
You're waiving your right to cross-examine witnesses.
Está renunciando a su derecho de contrainterrogar testigos,
You're waiving your right to call your own witnesses in your defense.
convocar testigos a su favor.
What you're doing is you're agreeing the state can prove the case.
Lo que está haciendo es que está expresando su acuerdo, está diciendo que la fiscalía podría probar los cargos en su contra.
And you're waiving your right to appeal any decision that I make.
Y está renunciando a su derecho de apelar cualquier fallo que yo emita.
Understand those rights?
¿Entiende sus derechos?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. This can come back and haunt you in the future also.
Esto también podría causarle problemas en el futuro.
If you have another one of these type of cases,
Si usted acumula otro cargo como este,
because they can use it against you, this previous
porque este antecedente lo podrían utilizar en su contra.
case, understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí.
Okay,
Yes.
so these are the consequences.
Las consecuencias son las siguientes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen,
Si usted no fuera ciudadana de los Estados Unidos,
entering a plea to a crime
el presentar una declaratoria con respecto a un delito
shall result in deportation proceedings against you
dará como resultado un procedimiento de deportación en su contra,
by the Department of Homeland Security.
que sería planteado por el Departamento de Homeland Security.
Get in trouble in the future,
Si se mete en problemas en el futuro,
submit yourself to a more severe penalty.
se expone a penas más severas.
That's what I just told you about.
Y eso es lo que le acabo de explicar.
If you're on supervision somewhere else in the world,
Si se encontrara bajo un régimen supervisorio en alguna otra parte del mundo,
this could affect that supervision,
esto podría afectar ese régimen
result in your incarceration in that case.
y podría dar como resultado su encarcelamiento en ese caso.
So what you're doing is agreeing
Lo que está haciendo es que está expresando su aquiescencia
that the state can prove the charges
a la noción de que la fiscalía podría demostrar los cargos.
Understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí.
And knowing all
Yes.
this, you still wish to resolve the case.
Y dado todo lo anterior, ¿usted aún así desea resolver el caso?
Vuelve y repíteme.
Dado todo lo anterior, ¿aún desea resolver su caso de esta manera?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, do you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
¿Está dispuesta a renunciar a todos esos derechos que le expliqué?
Sí.
Yes.
Understand the consequences?
¿Entiende las consecuencias?
Sí.
Yes.
Believe it to be in your best interest?
¿Considera que es lo que más le conviene?
Sí.
Yes.
Understand you don't have to do this?
¿Entiende que no está obligada a hacer esto?
Sí.
Yes.
And again, you're doing this
Y
voluntarily,
una vez más,
correct?
está haciendo esto de su libre voluntad, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
With regard to the crime of solicitation or prostitution, a municipal ordinance, how do you plead?
Con respecto
Guilty or no
al,
contest?
con respecto al delito de prostitución, lo cual es una violación de una ordenanza municipal, ¿cómo se declara? ¿Culpable o no me opongo?
No culpable.
Not guilty.
Well, you either gotta plead guilty
Tiene que declararse o
or no, or
culpable,
you're not fighting it
tiene que decir o culpable o no me
and
opongo
agreeing with it.
y expresar su consentimiento.
Which do you
No
wanna do?
culpable.
Not guilty.
Okay.
Momento. ¿Usted quiere pelear el caso o lo quiere resolver?
Yo lo quiero resolver porque yo nunca he ido yo no lo quiero resolver.
I want to resolve it because I've never gone to, I want to resolve it.
Okay, so here's the way it works is,
Bueno, funciona de la siguiente manera.
if you wanna resolve it,
Si usted quiere resolver el caso,
you either gotta say guilty
tiene que decir o culpable
or no contest.
o no me opongo,
Meaning I'm guilty of it,
lo cual significa decir soy
the
culpable
crime, or I'm not
del delito
fighting the crime.
o no voy a pelear en contra de los cargos.
Ay, no entiendo. No soy culpable.
I don't understand. I'm not guilty.
Entiendo, yo no comprendo bien.
I don't understand
¿Me
well.
explica?
Judge, could I just have one more moment?
Sure.
I did speak with her today in jail. Okay, Ms. Mercado, when I spoke with you earlier in jail,
Señora Mercado, cuando yo hablé con usted anteriormente en la cárcel,
you told me that you just wanted to resolve this case. You did not want to fight it.
usted me dijo que usted quería resolver el caso, que no lo quería pelear.
Sí.
So,
Yes.
if you want to resolve it, the judge, you need to enter, either you enter a plea of guilty or you enter a plea of no contest.
Si usted lo quiere resolver, tiene que presentar una declaratoria que sería una de dos cosas, o culpable o decir no me opongo.
No me opongo.
No contest.
Okay. Court finds you be alert and
Bien,
intelligent.
la corte considera que usted lo está haciendo de manera con conocimiento de causa,
Court finds you understand the consequences,
que entiende las consecuencias
and you're doing this in your best interest.
y que está haciendo esto porque considera que es lo que más le conviene.
Understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
I just want to make sure you understand you're
Quiero
not
asegurarme
fighting
de que
this,
usted
correct?
entienda, usted no está peleando los cargos, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Correct.
Okay, so with that,
Bien.
court will
Entonces,
accept your plea
dado lo anterior, la corte acepta su declaratoria.
and find you be alert and intelligent
Consideramos que usted es alerta y lo está haciendo con conocimiento de causa.
and find you understand the consequences.
Entiende las consecuencias.
So with that, so
Dado
with
lo
that,
anterior,
court will withhold
se
adjudication
le impone un fallo sin condena,
and assess court costs
costas judiciales
in order that she provide proof of HIV status within 60 days.
y se le ordena presentar pruebas de haber tomado la prueba del VIH dentro del plazo de 60 días.
Anything else?
Okay.
¿Alguna otra cosa?
You have 30 days
No de
to
parte de la defensa.
You have
señor
30
juez.
days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer be appointed to represent you. Good
Tiene
luck to you, ma'am.
30 días para apelar la sentencia de la corte. Si no puede costear un abogado, se le asignará uno. Buena suerte.
Thank you. Are we done? What else we got?
Judge, we have three gentlemen here at Maine on the second look docket.
Okay, let me
First
find it. Hold on,
gentleman is
hold on.
Mr. Oh.
Let me find it.
Your Honor, is that it for the Spanish cases?
I don't know. Anybody need a Spanish interpreter there?
Nobody here, Judge, at
No?
Maine.
Then you're good to go. Thank you very much for coming down, for coming over. Okay, so second look cases are,
They've already been magistrated, and for one reason or another.
right,
they
I'm
haven't
just looking,
bonded out
I'm
to
looking for the docket. What are their names?
Mr. Michael Coney.
I
C-O-N-E-Y.
got it. Okay, I found the docket with Mr. Coney on it.
Judge, if I may, he's been in custody since July 5th. He has a battery on an officer, which he has a $1,000 bond. He has two other misdemeanors with it, disorderly conduct, resisting without violence, where there's no bond attached. Right now, unfortunately, there's no one that's going to be able to post his bond. He's 25 years old, been here his whole entire life. He is working. He works at a mobile gas station as the attendant. He's a registered voter here in Broward County. He's a graduate of Coral Glades High School, class of 2012.
What high
He
school?
lives in Coral Glades High School.
Okay.
He's lived in Coral Springs with his mother. She does customer service for a living. However, right now, there's no one that could post his monetary bond. Considering his lack of any serious priors, Judge, and his strong ties to the community, I'd be asking you to consider releasing him on supervision and a pretrial release.
From the state?
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, with the court being inclined, I'm reviewing the probable cause affidavit to make a condition that he has to take any prescribed medication as
That's fine.
directed.
Yes, I don't have any problem doing that.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, I'll do the following. He's going to release ROR on standard pretrial. Special condition of pretrial, he report once a week in person. And number two is he provide proof of, I don't know how you provide proof of taking medication, but
I know, and it just would be, you know, if there's a concern that he isn't, then, and there's evidence, then that could be considered a violation. Would it ever come up? I don't really know, but I think just in light of reading this, I think it's,
okay.
it would appear to have.
Good. Is he on medication there? Is he taking medication in custody?
Yes, Judge, he goes to Henderson, and he has no problem abiding by that court order.
Okay, so give him, when they release him, can they give him medication to take with him? And then he's obligated to, within 2 days of his release from custody, go to Henderson as a special condition of his supervision? And provide proof that he's regularly going to Henderson according to what they require him to do, if they require him to go to Henderson.
Thank
So
you,
it's,
Judge.
okay, so you understand what you gotta do?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna get medication, you gotta go within 2 days of your release, you gotta go to Henderson and come back to pretrial and show them that you went to Henderson and comply with any other terms that Henderson has for you with regard to your medication, your treatment, your evaluations, whatever they do for you, understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Judge, you'll give him, because right now, by the time he gets released, pretrial is gonna be closed, so you'll give him tomorrow before noon to report to pretrial?
That's fine, but I want him to, that's fine. He's got, is that what it is? Pretrial's closed? Will pretrial be closed when he's released? Yes, so he's got to show the next day?
Yes, Your Honor, tomorrow by noon.
Okay, so tomorrow by noon.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Judge, the next gentleman we have here is Mr. Brandon Langford. Come on up, Mr. Langford. Mr. Langford is here on a burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, third-degree felony. Judge has been here since the 6th of July on a $1,000 bond. As you can see, he's still here. There's nobody that can afford to post his bond. He, unfortunately, he's looking for work. He's homeless, Judge. However, there's nobody that can post his monetary bond. We'd ask you to consider releasing him on this nonviolent offense on pretrial release, Judge.
What's his priors?
One moment, Your Honor.
All the state's looking for that. I know, Mr. Langford, I explained to him that this isn't his trial, but I know there's a co-defendant. I believe there's trucks involved. He didn't know anything about it. Obviously, he will have his day in court, and he's looking forward to disputing these allegations.
Okay.
And I'm showing he was arrested April 6th of this year. And that was on a court order on a possession of cocaine. I'd have to check to see what's going on with that case.
Does he have an outstanding case currently?
Sir, I just finished drug court.
Judge, no, he advised me, I guess.
I got withheld with adjudication in drug court, and it's all finished. I just got to pay the court costs. That's it. That was with Miss Toker.
So I guess one drug offense, which was a withhold adjudication.
Is he living at 99-9 West Prosper Road in Oakland Park? Is that
No,
it?
sir. When I got finished with the drug court, I lost my funding. So that's what I'm been meeting with task force. I'm looking to try to get into one of the BOCs.
Into what?
I said when I got finished with drug court, I lost my BSO funding. So I lost my halfway house. So I've been meeting with task force. I've been trying to get into one of the BOCs.
Well, Your Honor, I can tell you, with this case in drug court, the possession of cocaine, the judge, Tobin Singer, was concerned enough when she released him to pretrial, she put him on a electronic monitor to the House of Hope.
But that's
Where would he go? Where would he go if he's released?
Well, that's what he's trying to do, Judge. He's, as you heard, by the time he finished drug court and everything like that, he lost where he was actually staying at. So right now, like I did say, he's going to be homeless. However, it's going to be his responsibility when, if charges even get filed, it's going to be his responsibility to come back to court and contest these allegations. And if he doesn't come back to court, there's a remedy in place. He's going to be picked up on a no bond hold.
and I can check in with pretrial weekly or daily if you'd like.
And Your Honor, the state would object to that being a resolution one, to say, well, if he violates, then they'll just pick
No,
him up.
I understand.
If he doesn't-
What are his priors? Does he just got that one drug court prior?
One moment, John. Try to see if there's anything else. Yes, from what I can tell, that was his only prior as far as
Here's what I'm
Broward
gonna do.
goes.
I'll put him on pretrial release. Special condition, he's got to report daily to pretrial release. Every day.
Daily.
On weekends? No, he doesn't have to report on weekends.
On weekends. Now, is that considered Friday? Or
Monday through Friday, you have to go to pretrial every day.
But Saturday and Sunday, I don't.
Nobody's
correct?
open Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, yes, sir.
Mr. Reedy, he has to report to you Saturday and Sunday.
And you'll give him tomorrow to report before noon?
No, Monday through Friday, he's got to report to you every single day.
Okay, so.
If you fail to report, you understand you're back here on a no bond hold. Understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, the last gentleman we have is Mr. Vincent Burgess. He's here at Maine. Approaching, Judge.
Got it?
Judge, he's been here in custody since July 6th on a grand theft auto, unlawful possession of a person's ID, possession of oxycodone, cannabis, and drug paraphernalia. My understanding is he has a total of a $2,300 bond. At this time, Judge, he is working. He works at Montgomery Pools. He's been working for that company for 12 years. He's the sole provider of him and his wife. They reside in Fort Lauderdale in an apartment that they rent for about...
At 9th Avenue,
At 9th Avenue? Okay. But it's in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yeah.
He pays about $160 per week. My understanding, Judge, is right now his wife is handicapped, so she doesn't have the funds to post his bond.
She has lupus.
She has medical situation, so Judge, we'd be asking you to consider pretrial release.
Your Honor, the state would oppose pretrial. Mr. Burgess was arrested approximately 3 weeks ago for possession of MDMA, and he's out on a $1,000 bond on that case. His additional priors include 2012 tampering with evidence, 3-year state prison, 2012 felony theft, 3-year state prison, grand theft auto 01, 8-year state prison as a habitual offender, multiple possessions of cocaine,
Judge, I understand.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now you're done. Go ahead.
Maybe then, Judge, let me rephrase what I'm going to be asking for. Then, rather than standard, I'd ask you to consider level 2 pretrial with the monitor open schedule so you can continue working, and maybe this heightened form of supervision. That's what the defense is asking for at this time, Judge.
Has the case been filed or no? Because of
No.
the oxycodone?
No.
Who's his other case with? Has that been filed now, or that's pending?
The arrest from 3 weeks ago, it's assigned to your division, Judge. It's been, he was arrested June 19th, so it's been about 3 weeks.
Okay, do it this way. Set him over, what's today? Today's Tuesday?
Yes.
Set him over into my division on Friday, and have the public defender's already been appointed to represent him, correct?
I'm assuming he was filled out the application. Mr. Reedy could see in our computer system if it's already
Yes.
open and who's his attorney is signed.
Because what I want to do is just have the PD verify whatever statements he's making to you guys in magistrates, and then I'll hold a hearing to determine what his bond should be, if in all, anything. As opposed to it coming back here. I heard what to do is set him on my docket for Friday. Okay, and if he hasn't been appointed to the PD, he'll do an app at that point in time. But I need for the PD, whoever, to try and verify the information that he's providing to you now before you get to the courtroom on Friday, and then I'll address the issue on Friday to find out. And I don't mean anything disparaging to Mr. Burgess. I just want to find out if what he's saying is in fact 100%.
We understand, Judge. Judge, as far as setting on the docket, is your clerk next to you where she can actually have it set right now?
I don't know who, can you put on my docket for Friday? Okay, she's gonna call my JA now and put it on the docket for Friday.
Thank you very much, Judge.
No, I'm deferring on the motion until I hear other stuff on Friday. So find out if his wife is really disabled, if they're really living at this address, if, those sort of things. And if she comes in, maybe his employer verify his employment, if he's really been working in the same place for 12 years. If those things are true, I'll consider all those things. And again, I don't mean to be disparaging or say that Mr. Burgess is lying. I just sort of want more proof of that before I say yes or no.
We understand, Judge. Thank you.
It appears that our office opened up a file on Mr. Burgess on July 6th, or July 9th, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So someone should be out to see him within the next day or so, in any event.
Okay, that'll be good. Okay?
Judge, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Tomorrow.
We're good? We're good? We're done?
Your Honor, North Broward?
No! What? Oh, I forgot we're on camera. Oh, good, we're not done. We got plenty more to do. What do we got next?
Broward, we got two.
North Broward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which is that? What are we doing north? Which one?
What's your name, sir?
This is gonna go. Sir, what's your name?
David Chin.
Oh, Mr. Chin. Okay, I saw your paperwork here. Okay, this is a burglary of a conveyance. Second look again?
Yes, Judge, he has
Okay.
$1,000 bond on a burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. He's been living with his mother for a year. Unfortunately, does not know her phone number, and there is no one to bond him out. I'd be asking the court to consider pretrial release.
Mr. Chin, what's your address?
1520 64th Avenue, North Lauderdale.
And who do you reside there with?
Mom, sister, father-in-law.
What's his priors?
As far as Broward, Your Honor, he was arrested on June 30th for resisting without violence and possession of cannabis. He was ROR on those charges. It would appear, Your Honor, if I could just have one moment to check what happened with another case. Your Honor, it would appear in 2015 that he had charges of exposure and disorderly intoxication dismissed on competency grounds.
Okay. Okay. That's it?
That's all I see as far as Broward, Your Honor.
And for the PD?
I don't see any other priors.
Okay, they'll release him on pretrial release.
Thank you, Judge.
He's gonna be required to live at he doesn't have, how do you contact him if he doesn't have a telephone number? No. He'll be released on pretrial release. And it's his obligation to reside at 1520 Southwest 64th Avenue, North Lauderdale, Florida. You don't have to verify the address. So any notices will go out to him at that address. If he's not at that address. Huh? Standard. Once per week. You understand, sir? You gotta go once per week in person to pretrial.
Thank you.
And your name, sir, is what?
Noel LaBarry.
Okay. What are we doing with Mr. LeBerry?
Mr. LeBerry would like to resolve this matter, Judge. He wants to go back to California.
Is it a misdemeanor?
Yes, a misdemeanor trespass, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. LeBerry, you want to resolve your case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're
Yes,
charged.
Judge.
Okay, you're charged with trespass of, good, put your hand down. You're charged with trespass of a structure. Maximum period of time you face in custody is what? Second degree?
Yeah, I believe so. It's a first-degree misdemeanor.
Oh, it's 364,
One
you
year.
understand?
Yes, Judge.
You're gonna be resolving your case for a withhold of adjudication and time served, do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Judge.
Are you doing it
Yes,
freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, listen to the rights that you have. You have the right to a trial before a judge and a jury. You have the right to fight that case, which means you have the right to present evidence with regard to the case.
Yes,
You have the
Judge.
right to cross-examine witnesses that have been called by the state. You have the right to have the state prove their case. You have the right to remain silent. So what you're doing by entering a plea is you're waiving those rights. What you're doing by entering a plea is waiving any defenses you have, agreeing state can meet its burden of proof, and waiving your right to appeal any decision made during the course of the proceeding. You understand that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Consequences are as follows. If you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea to a crime will result or shall result in deportation proceedings being brought against you by Department of Homeland Security. Get in trouble in the future, subject yourself to a more severe penalty. If you're on supervision somewhere else, this could affect that supervision. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
Okay,
I am a citizen.
if you don't pay your court costs that are going to be assessed against you, your driving privileges are going to get suspended. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and knowing all that, you still wish to resolve your case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So with that, do you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
Yes, Judge.
Understand the consequences?
Yes, Judge.
Believe it to be in your best interest to resolve your case?
Yes, Judge.
And you understand you don't understand you understand you don't have to. Meaning you're giving up your right to fight it. Do you understand that?
Yes, Judge.
And you sure you want to do this?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay, to the crime of trespass of an occupied structure. How do you plead? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Court accepts your plea. Court finds you to be alert and intelligent. Court finds you freely and voluntarily entered your plea without threat of coercion, with the full understanding of its effects and consequences.
Yes.
And with that, court will withhold adjudication on the crime, assess court costs. Anything else?
No, Judge.
Thank you. You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, Noel. Okay, we have one left, Tavares Hill. We have four left. I only have one PC left. Hold on. Let me see what I got here. Burgess, I put him on my docket. Okay, okay, what other ones do we have left then?
Gil, Alonso, Conti.
Okay, where's it, main jail?
Conti, Your Honor.
Where?
Conti.
Conti. Okay, so who do I have sitting before me now?
Alonzo Hill.
Your Honor, this is actually a motion for release that the Public Defender's Office filed.
I have Tavares Hill.
That's on the misdemeanor docket, I believe. This is a felony. Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting that the court deny the motion at this time. As you can see on the docket, Mr. Hill was arrested on June 18th, so we've not yet reached 30 days from the date of his arrest.
Okay, from the Public Defender's Office?
I think Mr. Lender's math is as good as mine, Judge.
Okay, so that's denied at this point. Okay.
Mr. Hill, if they still haven't filed charges, we'll bring you back after 30 days, after you've been in jail 30 days. The motion was filed too soon.
We have Tavares Hill.
And your name is what?
Tavares Hill.
Okay, Tavares Hill. Okay, you got a misdemeanor here.
Judge, he's been in jail 18 days on a trespass.
Does he have a violation of probation too, or no?
I think he pled that out, Your Honor. He's county sentenced, and I believe he's ordered to SAP.
Okay, so what do you want to do on the misdemeanor?
I have no objection if he wants to resolve it.
Want to resolve this today, Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
don't have any
does the
problem
court have
resolving
an
it.
offer?
What's his prior?
Your Honor, he was on probation for strong arm robbery. As was mentioned, he's county sentenced. The state's offered to be an adjudication time served.
Sounds good to me. Adjudication time served.
Is that what you want to do, Mr. Hill? It'd be a conviction on your record, and your sentence would be the time you've already spent in jail. The case would be over today.
The trespassing case?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so you're charged with trespassing, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Maximum period of time is 364 days in Broward County Jail, you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're resolving your case for time served, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is this what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing it freely and voluntarily?
Voluntarily.
Okay, listen to the rights that you have. You have the right to a trial before a judge, and a jury. You have the right to be represented at that trial. You have the right to have your lawyer cross-examine witnesses that are called by the state to trial. Basically, that means fighting the case. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to call witnesses on your own behalf. So what you're doing by entering a plea and resolving this, you're waiving all that. You're agreeing state can prove its case. You're waiving your right to appeal any decision that I make in the case or anything that went up to, that has gone on thus far. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's consequences. Number one, if you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea to a crime shall result in deportation proceedings being brought against you. Number two, this can be used against you in the future with regard to a prior crime. Number three, if you're on supervision somewhere else in the world, this can be used against you and incarcerate you on that other crime. Number four, under certain circumstances, the Department of Motor Vehicles will be notified. If you don't pay your court costs, they're going to be notified, which means if you still don't pay those, they'll suspend your driving privileges. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And knowing all that, you still wish to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you wish to waive all those rights I went over with you?
Yes, sir.
Understand the consequence of doing so?
Yes, sir.
Believe it to be in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
And you understand you don't have to?
Yes, sir.
For the crime of trespassing after warning, how do you plead? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
Court accepts your plea. Court finds you to be alert and intelligent. Court finds you freely and voluntarily entered your plea without threat or coercion, with the full understanding of its legal effects and consequences, with the advice of competent legal counsel. Any legal reason why you cannot be sentenced? Okay, hearing none, the court's going to withhold adjudication, assess court costs. Anything else? You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of court. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you.
Okay, what else do we have? Okay, I gotta find that docket. We did Hill, we did LeBaire. This is garbage. We did, I think that's from earlier. Which one we got?
Christopher Engdahl at North Broward.
I got it. Okay. Mr. Engel? He's not at North Broward.
Not looking good. And the problem
It's
is,
a motion for ROR.
these are, I know it says that, it's a second look.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, and the problem, the two cases we had left, Conrad Alls was reset from yesterday also, and North didn't bring him yesterday. I don't know. I know, but, so they don't get a copy of these documents?
What?
Not that particular one that you're talking about, yeah, I have all the others, but Mr. Engel, I don't have any.
Engdahl,
I don't get those lists until I actually.
Well, is he, can we call North Broward and then brought over? We got some time.
Yeah, he was reset from Friday, I wasn't here.
What
so-
about Engel and Alls? Can we call them and just ask them to bring them over? Are they ROR mo?
No, they're second looks.
Just second one?
I didn't know Engdahl was on the document first. He wasn't in the pile there. Like I said, there's the top one's the PC, and then there's some other PCs. What's that? With Engdahl? He had a second lip Friday.
No,
and-
it was both nights.
Oh.
Calling your sister this time.
Well, that was the whole thing that came up while you were on vacation. Sister. Yeah, here, let me find, okay. And I'm always, I mean,
Is he in custody on all these cases?
no, I just, Your Honor, as you can see, the other, well, I'll wait till.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, how about alls? Can they bring alls too?
I think that's the problem.
You still need to have that open. Why don't they cut that open for you?
Yeah. And
So
it's
when it
canned.
slides through, I can hit you in the head.
This is accurate, it's hard to make for having that kid.
Yeah, I know.
Since he's kicked out
Yeah,
window.
really. Yeah, kick them in the chin, huh? Yeah. Have you seen his booking photo?
Your note on the booking sheet, you had $100 bond on one one, and then on the fine, you had $100 bond on a different one. So which one are you saying actually? Judge? See conflicting information here. Either way, there was $100 bond set on one of his infractions that isn't a criminal matter, so I would just request that both be on the law.
That's fine.
I'm gonna
The-
run to the restroom.
Okay.
And you're on for count two, maybe it's not, we still have conflicting information.
I put,
No,
what did I
have
do?
for
I
that.
did a $15,000 bond. I did a GPS. I did the TAD.
2,500 right.
The TAD, I did.
Yes.
Okay,
Huh?
she has it for count three, that's why I wanna clarify.
Count 3 was ROR.
Okay, I wanted to clarify, because the clerk has different information, that's why.
Whatever works.
All right,
Whatever makes it easier for you guys is what I will do.
all right.
Do you need me to initial something to verify it or to correct something? Okay. You guys looking for something? What are they trying to do? Should I tell him we can see him? We can see you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, he's on his way to go get the inmate right now.
Okay, that's fine. Did you
We're in
get
the middle of shift change.
both of them?
Excuse me? I'm assuming so. I just went back there to turn the mic on for him.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Can I keep Burgess?
I mean,
Can I keep this one? This one for my docket? Oh, yeah, you know what? Call her. She thought I called. She just texted me, did you, call me? And I just put no. So it must have showed that you were calling. Mr. Reedy, would you tell? We're on recording.
Are we sending it for a status or a motion for all?
Status, I guess. Just tell somebody so they don't get there and it's, nobody got around to it. Do you know what I mean? Well, we're on the record. Huh? I'll put them Friday for 8:30 in the morning. Because, let me get off the bench here. Is this all, can I turn this off the recorder so I can say something?
Yes.
What do I do? Just system off, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you read it for him?
Hey, Alex, can you please advise the attorneys assigned to Judge Siegel's division that this courtroom is Friday morning for status hearing? Judge is thinking about releasing him, but wants clarification of his wife's health as well as other ties to the community. Thanks, Brian.
There you go.
So that should go to everybody that we have, so hopefully by Friday they get some information.
Okay. Best you can hope for.
And hopefully by Friday we'll have Mr. Engel and Mr. Hall.
That's okay. Do we have anything else other than, they're done? What- These are the last ones we have, right, on the
Yeah.
docket?
Yes.
Okay, so it's fine.
Your Honor, I have Mr. Engadal Christopher.
It's only 3:15. It's early. Very good. Okay, so Mr. Ingall,
Yes, sir.
you're here because you have a resisting
Alleged.
alleged. That I agree with you.
Yes.
A battery on an officer alleged, a resisting without alleged, and a trespass alleged.
Correct.
And you're here on second looks. So what are we doing with regard to Mr. Ingdahl?
And Your Honor, from what I can see, he appeared before Judge Malika last Friday on a second look. Now granted, while I don't know what was discussed, and apparently it was reset for today, regardless of what was discussed, I am going to be requesting that the court take no action today. I provided the court with the probable cause affidavit for this arrest and multiple other probable cause affidavits from his other recent arrest cases that he's resolved. As you can see, 2 criminal mischiefs where while he was intoxicated, destroyed property, 2 businesses, an aggravated battery case that he pled out to a misdemeanor battery, Your Honor. But it's the same common theme in all these cases. Mr. Engel drinks and becomes violent. And he was placed on pretrial previously by Judge Malika on, I believe, one of the criminal mischief cases. I believe it was Judge Malika, might have been another judge, I'm not certain. The point is, he violated by committing the other criminal mischief once he got out. And really, at this point in time, I don't believe there's any reason to have any confidence that Mr. Engdahl will not commit a new law offense if released on any different conditions than the bonds that have been set.
Okay. PD?
Yes, Judge, I was not here Friday either. I did read the probable cause affidavit. Unless Mr. Ingall's financial situation has radically changed since the last time I spoke to him, he's not going to be able to make a $1,500 bond because his bond on count 1 is $500. It looks like his bond on count 2 is $1,000. So he's not going to be able to bond. Am I right, Mr. Engall? Do you have any money to bond out?
No, I have very little money to bond out. I get a small check from the government, but when I was a magistrate the first time, the only thing holding me back from RORing was talking to my sister.
Yes, I've spoken to your sister.
Okay, you have? Okay.
Not recently. I spoke to her a few months ago.
It's the same number. Well, she works for Humana, and it's hard to get a hold of her. If she gets off the phone when she's on with a client, Humana will get mad at her. She's not allowed to disengage when she's talking to a client because she's a nurse over the internet.
What was it that your sister was going to tell us, Mr. Engall?
Just tell her that she was just going to say that she was going to come and pick me up. So otherwise I'd be homeless. And as far as the other on the accounts of the misdemeanor, I pled not guilty, and I just took the 6 months that they gave for, and I wasn't drunk at the time, and I lost my RV during the process, which made me even doubly homeless. And the other accounts, the trespassing, which they said they did a blood test, I had no alcohol in me and no drugs. Okay, and they broke my nose and they broke my ribs. So as far as I'm concerned, when I talked to the lawyer, I want a police brutality case, because this one guy, the guy was threatening me, following me 3 o'clock in the morning when I was going to go sleep behind the AA building.
Hang on, Mr. Engall. Hang on 1 second, okay? Don't say anything else. All right, I left a message for Mr. Engel's sister Sylvia, Judge. I don't know when she's gonna call me back, but I left her my cell number, so
Okay.
hopefully she'll call me between now and tomorrow afternoon. I'd ask to reset Mr. Engel till tomorrow afternoon.
Turned into a fifth look now, because
That's
apparently
okay.
he had a hearing on July 5th and July 6th.
Okay, I'll put it over for tomorrow afternoon. If she calls
thank you,
back
Judge.
and we'll do something, then it can get resolved at that point, maybe. At least his release can get resolved. Okay, so he's reset again for tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, Judge. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, Christopher.
Okay, thank
Try
you
and
very
stay out of
much.
trouble between now and then, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Linder,
Sir,
that's for tomorrow afternoon. You can
Oh.
save a tree.
absolutely.
Okay, and the last one we have is Alls, Conrad Alls.
Yes, Your Honor, I have Mr. Alls Conrad here. How you doing, Your Honor?
Hey, Mr. Alls.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was unable to print a copy out for the court. I didn't have it in my system, but I can tell you, reading off the PC and Odyssey, he's charged with felony theft. Allegedly stole. One moment.
So, Mr. Mayor.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not, Mr. Alls. Let's listen to what the state has to say, okay?
$284 worth of items from a Walmart. He does have 2 prior convictions. One is recently as June 14th. He was arrested July 3rd. He was arrested and pled out June 14th for a theft. He pled out a 2017 theft the day before, June 13th. Prior to that, his priors are dated. They go back to 03, but multiple thefts. I see a total of 5 prior theft-related offenses, a strong arm robbery, burglary.
Okay.
And I believe his bond is $750.
Yeah, his bond is $750. What was the property recovered, Mr. Linder?
It would appear so.
So restitution is not an issue.
Has it been filed?
No, Judge. It's just been a week since the arrest.
Do you have a place to live, Mr. Alls?
I want to I do. I can live with my sister, I think, but I want to resolve this today.
We can't resolve it today. It's a felony.
Because it's the third one.
Yes.
I wanted to because I can't make bond on it, and I do have a place to go if I leave here.
Do you know the address where you would go?
It would be 999 West Prospect Road.
And who lives there at that address?
Well, it's my sister lived there.
And Judge, I'd ask you to consider pretrial release pending possible verification of his address. Do you have a phone number of anybody there?
I don't.
What's your sister's name?
Her name is Constance. She's not my real sister. We call each other, She's not my real sister. She's still across the street from Foundations, the drug abuse treatment center. It's a halfway house.
The 999 address is a halfway house, right?
Yeah, and she's still across the street from there.
999 West Prospect is Foundation's residential house.
Right.
Does she have a regular apartment across the street?
She have an apartment. There's 2 of them there. There's 2 of them there in the apartment. And I'm not going to be able to post bond on this or anything like that.
Here's what I'll do. I'll release some standard pretrial, but verification of the address. And you got to note that the address is a different address other than the address that he gave. It's across the street. Do you know the telephone number or to get a hold of your sister?
I don't have the number, John.
Any way to get a hold of your sister?
You have to go over there.
Well, you could release him on pretrial, Judge, and he'd have to report tomorrow. And you could make it a condition of pretrial release that when he reports, he has his sister's address with him.
Right, and I will, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, you're gonna be on pretrial, but you're gonna have to come back tomorrow to pretrial and give that address that you're gonna be staying at.
I will, Your Honor. I will.
If
Sure
you don't,
will.
if you don't, you're back in here, no bond. Understand that?
I understand that. I
He
understand.
says he stays across from Foundations, and he gave Foundations as the address.
Yeah. She's still right across the street from there.
Okay, but
Well,
And I'll go
make
there.
sure you have that address when you go
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I will.
to pretrial tomorrow. The deputy's gonna give you a map,
Okay,
all right?
yes. I don't need a map.
Yeah,
Okay.
just take one anyway.
Okay.
what's that?
Court is releasing him
Yeah.
outright, he's no longer pending.
Well, he's gotta come back tomorrow and show you what address he's staying at.
Right.
So it's a condition of his pretrial that he come back tomorrow and show you the address he's
And
staying
Your
at.
Honor, if he does not bring an address tomorrow to show to the court, does that mean he's violated? And a warrant will be,
No, he's gotta give you a mailing address, some sort of address where he'll get notice.
okay, so all I'm writing on the order is must provide an address for the purpose of court notice.
That's fine.
Thank you, Judge. All right, Mr. Rawls, you know what you have to do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.
Anything else? He's going into my courtroom on Friday. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.